This is a lesson from our stop motion animation course. To get the full course, go to bloopanimation.com/stopmotion.
In this video, I'll be covering all of the environmental elements you need to control while making a stop motion. As I mentioned earlier, one aspect that makes stop motion different to a lot of other animation mediums is that you're working in a real-life environment. This means that there are a lot of factors that can affect the animation. Gravity, light reflections, vibrations, and camera bumps can all end up ruining your animation if you're not careful. I'll go through some of these factors and suggest some ways that you might control them. Light. In order to create the illusion of life in your scene, the lighting needs to be controlled. By that, I mean it doesn't flicker, it doesn't change color unexpectedly, and it stays still. When I animate, I usually make sure the overhead room light is turned off, so that it's just my animation lights that are affecting the scene. I also make sure that none of my lights flicker by doing some test animations with them. Daylight can be a huge issue. If you have windows in your animation studio, make sure the curtains are drawn. If they're not thick enough to block out the light, maybe consider blacking them out with some cardboard and tape, or even consider moving to a different room. Daylight changes over time, so your scene will get brighter and darker as the day goes on, which makes for an inconsistent looking result. If all else fails, you can just animate at night. Reflections. Depending on your scene and characters, you may have some very reflective surfaces that could reflect parts of you or your room while you're animating. This is bad because it can cause a flickering effect. Consider wearing a black shirt that doesn't reflect light, or maybe even duck out of line of sight with the set while you're animating. Consider the room you're in. White walls or bright objects can cause reflections too. You may want to put up a black sheet around the area you're working in to completely control these reflections. Eliminating movement. For stop motion to work, you need to keep everything that isn't supposed to move completely still. Not only the set, but the desk, camera, tripod, lights. Tape down everything you can for this, because chances are that you will accidentally bump it while you're animating. Bumping something while animating is the worst. It can really take a long time to get everything back to where it was, or even lead you to having to start the shot again. So yeah, just make sure you tape down everything so it can't move. One quick tip just in case you bump the camera, set some tape markers on the floor where your tripod's legs are. These can help you line it back up if you do in fact bump the camera while animating.